Hello, this is Anthony. Let's sit and talk. By the way, if you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and I would be grateful. So today we're going to talk about another aspect of psychology with the twin flame journey. So I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, part of the first video, how some people I think believe that they're on a twin flame journey, but really there's another aspect of life that is going on. So science has been studying attachment styles for about since 1950, so for about the last 70 years. And what science has discovered is there are certain attachment styles that people have based on their childhood experiences. That range from secure, which is really the most healthy, to dismissive avoidant, which is probably the most difficult style for a person to have to deal with. What I've noticed through my experience is that these different attachment styles can appear to be much the same as a twin flame journey. And I'm going to give you an example. We're going to use an anxious attachment style as compared to a dismissive avoidant attachment style. When these two people come together in a relationship, what happens is that the anxious person is really acts a lot like the chaser. They want to reach out, they want to connect, they want to really grow something. And in the beginning, the dismissive avoidant, they have that desire too. They really want a relationship. So they go through the honeymoon stage, which lasts roughly 4 to 6 months, but again, depending on the severity of each style, can last up to a year. And what happens in these relationships is the dismissive avoidant will be in the relationship, they'll be wanting to connect, but as things begin to become more real, as the relationship begins to become more intimate and more connected, that triggers the dismissive avoidant. And what will happen is they'll run, actually, because they have an internal fear of abandonment and fear of rejection, because they don't feel worthy, partly because as children they didn't learn how to attune to people's feelings, or their feelings were dismissed. They were shown that those vulnerabilities are a negative thing. So when these things happen in these relationships where these dismissive avoidants get triggered, they'll start to slow fade away, and then essentially cut the relationship off without any real reason. They'll just end it and say, I just can't meet your needs, or this just isn't working. They don't really give any reason for it, which can be very devastating for for instance, the anxious attacher, because they'll chase, they'll say, oh, we just need to reconnect. They'll chase, they'll run after the person, which will push the dismissive avoidant even further away. So that relationship very much is similar to the runner-chaser relationship in a twin flame journey. And I don't want to make light of this, because being discarded in this type of a relationship for the anxious attacher, it can be very devastating and very difficult to deal with. It can be very difficult because there is no closure. They are left to wonder if they did something wrong and why this person ran away from them. The thing is that when these two come together, because the dismissive avoidant wants a relationship, the dynamic can be so amazing. You can feel like you've met your soulmate. That's how incredible these relationships can start off as. But as they begin to traverse the spectrum where things become close again, that person turns and runs. Now, the reason I bring this up is because about 25% of the people, according to studies, are dismissive avoidant, which means that and roughly about 80% of them are men and about 20% of them are women. The reason this is important to understand is because because these relationships do have a similar dynamic as a twin flame relationship. I think there are a lot of people who maybe automatically think, well, maybe this is my twin flame. The issue is that just because there's a lot of pain and things that need to be processed in the relationship does not necessarily mean that this person is your twin flame. Even in spirituality, they also call things false flames. So this could be that type of a relationship. One of the biggest key determining factors from my experience, as to whether it is a twin flame is to how the situation plays out in the quote-unquote chaser's life. There comes a point where things are very, you can't get the person out of your mind, but what does that spark? What I mean by that is, in a true twin flame relationship, what that sparks for the chaser is it sparks your spiritual awakening. You start asking a lot of questions about really what's going on in the world around you. You start looking inside as to who are you really. A lot of times you will have what they call the dark night of the soul, or an ego death. Usually the person that appears after this dark night of the soul and the sorts of the spiritual journey, they are not similar to the person they were before. In fact, they are quite different from the person that they were before. So, if you meet someone in relationship and you think you've met your twin, but you don't or haven't gone through a spiritual awakening, then the likelihood is probably you have not met your twin. For me, the spiritual journey, for lack of a better word, there became a thirst for it. I desired to learn everything I could learn about the spiritual aspects of this life, who I am, why I'm here, all of these different aspects. And that's very similar to other people I know that have been on this journey. They really go looking for answers versus, just feeling just the pain of the disconnection of the relationship. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps you if you're on the journey, or if you're wondering whether you're on a spiritual journey. I think part of the reason this is important is because it's important to understand where you are in your journey, whether it is this is the chosen journey for you, or whether it's something else. I think having the knowledge of really understanding what's going on can help you to learn, grow, evolve, and overcome a lot of times some of these things in a more meaningful way. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave comments. I would love to answer any questions that you might have. And until we talk again, peace, love, light. Have an amazing day.